the mindset of people, the way they look at me. I never had anybody criticizing like, you are this, you are that. Every time, you belong to my community. You are really a good man. You're every time you're good, you're good, you're good. And then I might also have some weakness, especially in my family, because I spend so much time outside there. I don't spend my time at home. I need to start spending time with my family too. I have a great wife and my children, so I need while I'm doing out there very well. I need to start also focusing a bit at home. And do stuff home too.
So no, that's a good one. Like, with, or do you, like the future, what's your plans, like politics or African community leadership? Do you have your sight on any of these things?
I'm not a politician, so I don't think I'll go into politics. I'm an educator. I like to educate people on a lot of things, and that is what also makes me a bit successful, because people invite me all the time. I go to interstate, to educate people on different topics. My interest is family, but I also do other things. So I don't think I'll go into politics, but I'm in the education section. Yeah.
That's what we need. That's really important. So like for the community, and like, do you have any advice for the community? People look up to you, and you have helped educating people a lot. Is there any message you want to send out there to the larger community?
Yeah. I would like people to know that I think many people already know Australia is a great country, and Australia is like a tree. With the tree in my village, we got a lot of mango tree, and then mango tree, when the mango is ripe, it is you who go and pick how many you want to eat. For us, we pick and then you eat right away. So some people will eat only one, others will eat 10, others will eat more. So Australia is like that. Everything is here. It's only you make a good choice, you go and pick it. It's there, you can pick it. When you pick, you can eat, you get full, you're happy, and that is what we want. It is difficult. There are a lot of challenges because we come from a different culture into this culture. I am a person who believes we should learn to live like Australian. Even though we still have our culture, we need to respect the culture we found here. And then by doing that, we actually learn, and also they learn ours. So when you come here, take the advantage, because it was a privilege for us to come to Australia, and then we need to make use of it. Then I think, a lot of Africans are doing very well, really. There are a lot of those who make good choice. Maybe few don't make good choice, but they end up wrecking it for everybody.
So before I leave you, can you tell us like where to get a book and how much, what's the price? And
the book is at Demic store in the city. If you go there, you can find the book in a humanity section. And then it's $35 because I'm not rich, so I produce less book.
It's affordable, $35.
Yes. I produce less book. I'm looking at even reducing it more, but at the moment it's still $35. It's a good book. I had a lot of comment from people. Somebody said to me, "This is the only book I read and feel like not to stop." And then I said, "Why?" He said, "Because it's not really a new thing to me, but it is a confirmation for me." When I read, I'm confirming, yes, this happened, yes, this is happening, and then yes, and then when he went on to the recommendation, and then he thought some of them he didn't even think it is a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and then but he's ready and willing to try, and there is a lot of comment, and there is a woman also who talked to me. I don't know who, probably she knows me, and then she called me Juma. I don't even know her, and I turned and said, "Are you the one who wrote the books?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Why you did not write another one for the women? We need another one for us, because me and my husband we're talking a lot with this book now." And then I challenged him with some stuff from inside, and then he also challenged me. So it is something that attract discussion in the family, and I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
So can we look forward to another one somewhere in future?
I'm looking at, I am at the moment writing about African community leadership and development in Australia.
Okay.
That one is very itchy, because I'm talking about things that someone told me. I gave a presentation about that, the book that I'm writing now. When I finished the presentation, she asked me, she said, "Juma, what you have presented is true, but do you think it's a good idea for Australians to know?" And then I was like, yeah, of course. If it is true, then the Australians need to know, because if they can know the truth, they can help us better than, trying to lie. So I talk about a lot of things in that one.
Okay.
Things that are happening, things that are a bit crazy. People think, like in one of the communities, a woman was trying to become a leader, and then she have to be put down because she's a woman.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I think that is not right.
Yeah.
And then I challenge that idea.
Okay.
Because we cannot always have men, leading. We should also make use of the women, because they have the same knowledge like we have. I challenge a lot of things in leadership, especially the part of governance where we African we don't do well. And then I don't know what we can do, but we need to work on it.
So, being one of the leaders with your experience in education, what are some of the challenges and or positives within the African community that you are aware of?
Yeah. The big one is finance, financial and parenting issues, family violence. We can use family conflict also. With the money, the way things are done here. I said in Africa mostly men works to bring money,
money to home.
and then they mostly also manage those money. And then when people move to Australia, there is a bit of changes, because men and women are being looked at as the same. And then especially those who depend on social security benefit like Centrelink money, women tend to have
control.
They shouldn't have the control, because the government gives this money to actually be pulled together, as one family money, and then they use it for the family. But because of a misunderstanding, the money goes to the woman account, and then she thinks she owns it, and then sometimes men also have issues. If they receive that money, they also try to misuse it. So it become a very difficult thing. And when you live here, most of the African families have big families, and then many dependents. And also the people in Africa is their dependent here. You see. So when they are using this money here, they also use the money, have to send the money to their families in Africa. And then I had one example when I was working as a family relationship counselor. There is some issues in the family that I helped to solve. With that issues, the woman received Centrelink, and then the men's work, because when the men's work and they get reasonable money, the money for the woman is cut. So they still receive the children one. Yeah. So this woman, the uncle rang her from Africa and say, I would like some money. And the woman said to this uncle that I need to talk to my husband, and then we will decide to see how much we can send you. And this guy did not give a good idea because he lives in Africa, he doesn't live here. So what he did, he said, I heard in Australia women are on top of everything, so why can you just send the money? If you can call the government and then leave him alone. That is a bad advice.
Yeah, that's a bad advice.
Yeah, very bad advice, because that is not the way it's supposed to happen. And then and for some men, if this woman asks them, asks like the husband, maybe he can say no. And then he only support his side, which is also not right. So money issues is very conflict, and then create a lot of issues in Australia. Yeah. And then we had another issue, the same with the money. There was a guy who his father rang him and asked for money. And then he said to his father, I need to talk to my wife, and then we can decide how much we send you. And then the father told him, now you went to Australia, you become a woman. That is funny, and he said, why? He said, men are the head of the family. That is it. This woman should accept that you are the head of the family, you just send the money to me, and she asks nothing. That is also bad. Because it doesn't work like that. So people need to be educated, and then when we get into some of those advice, we actually wreck our family. It's not a good thing. And then with parenting, there is also a bit of a misconception in the communities where they said African parents are very violent. They don't teach their kids well. They beat their kids and all this and all that, and all those myths are not true. Because even in Africa, I don't know in other countries, but in South Sudan, in the village where I come from, if you don't look after your wife, the uncles will take your children and your wife from you. So they become like the government here. If you don't look after your family, you fight in front of the kids, the government can take the children. So the work that the government is doing here, we were doing those things before. Back home it was happening. So it's not a new thing for us. It's just we don't really have that understanding.
So, do you think with these two important points, parenting and monetary problems, do they have some sort of negative implication for the African community in terms of the overall effect on people, maybe like relationship, maybe like or children's education and other things?
It does. It brings suppression. If you cannot work things out, it brings conflict. And what is the result of conflict? If the woman is not happy, you call the police, and then you're separated, and then children in single families. It is a big issue. And then the same with the man. If the man call the police for his wife, people think it's not a good idea to do that. But I know people that did that.
Yeah.
The men call the police for the woman because the woman is misbehaving. So it creates problem in the family. And then when there is problem in the family, that is reflected in the community.
Yeah.
And then when it is reflected in our small communities, it becomes a big thing for Australia.
Yes.
So it's not actually only our problem. Just
as an African.
Yeah, it's
problem.
not an African issue. Yeah, it's an Australian issue. So
yeah, because we are part of the society now.
That's right.
But like when you look at another thing is when you look at do you think there's a fine line that we have to observe both men and women being in a different society, different culture, but maybe women understanding that we come from a place where men have a role, and then men too understanding that we are in a place where women should have a role. Do you think there's a fine line that we have to observe that maybe we are not observing?
Yeah, in Africa we have duties divided. Responsibility are different. Women do certain things, and men do certain things. But in Australia, we are all equal. We are the same. It's very simple, really, because imagine if you work and your wife doesn't work, she stay home. She actually should do a lot of homework, the work that is done at home. And then if she works and you stay at home, and then you should do those work too, because if she goes to paid work and she come back home and have to again start cooking and start doing, she's already tired. And the same with you, if you come and your wife starts saying you need to go and cook, it's like sin, you see. So it's a very funny thing. So we mix things up. This is where the problem is, because we don't understand it well. So even if the woman stay home, and then when the man goes to pay work, if he come back home, the woman starts saying, you should be cooking, you should be washing dishes, but he's working, So this is also when we use it wrongly, because it's not right like that. But the same thing, your woman is working and you stay at home. You don't have work, you just sleep, you wait for her to come and to cook. You said it's your job to cook. It used to be my job to cook because I was not working. But now I'm working, you need to cook, you see. So if you help in the family stuff is supposed to be done with, everybody in the family need to take part in doing it, because that is a family. Family is one, and then the job is shared. And they said sharing is caring,
So do you think, for example, most of our communities, within the African community, we have women group, men group. So do you think these groups have a responsibility to more delve into these sort of things? Men groups should come together and have a discussion, or this sort of medium that we are using tonight should have a discussion on how to reconcile these cultural differences and these roles or differences. Do you think that would be important?
It's very important. We do it in my community. We do it all the time. We discuss issues. We discuss terrible issues. We discuss easy issues. We discuss, things that bring happiness. But men's, women's, we need to understand each other. We need to learn from each other. And then learning never stops. We can continue to learn all the time. So by talking, more discussing those issues is a good thing. Avenue like this is actually a good thing, because this is where you learn from your friends. For us, we are very good at learning this way, not by writing. And then we learn more by visual stuff and looking at things, and by talking like this, we learn more.
But so the book, this is the book, you can find this at Dimex, $35, very affordable. And thank you so much for being on tonight and sharing your insight with the African community. It's a pleasure talking to you.